come back to the minutes when we have quorum, if that's okay with everyone. And are there any requests for continuance? Or any non-agenda public comments? Okay, if not, why don't we move forward to the Friends of the Library report. And speaking of a friendly face, there's Miss Joan. Hi, Joan.
Hi,
Welcome.
Wendy. Hi, everybody.
Good to see you.
It's good seeing you. So thanks for the opportunity to provide another report on the Friends of the Library. Our Friends of the San Diego Public Library Board met several days ago and considered several requests from library staff to support planned programs. These include the summer reading program, and will be funding for prizes to be awarded in a drawing of summer reading program finishers at 5 age levels, ranging from tots to adults. And the prizes for all but the youngest two groups will be iPads. The second request was funding for a virtual Juneteenth story time to be presented by the San Diego Black Artist Collective. And then the third request was for us to provide funding for library shop gift cards that'll be $100 each. It'll be for the 3 winners at the child, teen, and adult level for the second annual special edition Pride Library Card Design Contest. So we were really very pleased to be able to help out with these upcoming summer programs. The Friends of the San Diego Public Library and our chapters are rising to the challenge of meeting the $1 million match and have made or are considering donations to matching funds despite the financial challenges our organization and individual chapters have faced related to greatly reduced income during the past year plus of library closures. And as reported last month, some Friends chapters have begun to hold outdoor book sales following well-defined safety procedures. The enthusiasm for this is really high among volunteers and customers alike. And in addition, one chapter has been able to reopen its used bookstore on a very limited basis with strict safety protocols in place. Our online book sales continue to bring in some income for the greater Friends and also several of our chapters. And of course, at this time of the year, library advocacy is foremost on our minds. The Friends of the San Diego Public Library and our network of friends are participating in advocacy efforts in various ways, and we expect to have a presence at the upcoming City Council Budget Committee meetings. The next monthly meeting that will be the combined board with chapter presidents and representatives is scheduled for this coming Saturday, May 8th, and of course will be a virtual meeting. Thank you very much.
Great report. Thank you, Joan. Thank you again to the Friends for all of their effort. And I just wanted to take a moment to compliment Joan. We all know her as our Friends advocate, and as part of our Libraries Transform Coalition, you've probably seen a lot of communication that's generated by the foundation. Thank you, Charlie and team, and signed by Patrick as head of the foundation and Joan as head of the Friends and myself as head of the commission. But I love Joan because she's an excellent proofreader. And if you ever need anyone to proof something, Joan has a great eye and a great heart for the library. But I know it's a lot of extra time, Joan, that you also spend personally on advocacy as well as leading the Friends. So thank you for your efforts there.
I will say the proofreading skills are both a blessing and a curse. I will go to a lecture, and if there's an error in the slide, it just jumps out at me and it distracts me. So yeah.
It's a great skill. I find typos in menus, and my poor husband's like, oh no, here she goes again. I'm like, but I can't do advanced math to save my life. So, we all have different skills and abilities, but thank you, Joan. That's a great report. Really exciting about the summer reading program too, and the prizes for that. I know that's a great incentive for so many folks. So thank you. Also just want to welcome our friend Ann McDonald. Thank you for joining us. I also want to welcome Commissioner Anderson, who's joining us via phone. Since we have quorum, if I may go back quickly to item number 2, the approval of minutes from the April 7th meeting. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I'll make a motion to approve, Wendy.
Thank you, Commissioner Hanson. Do I have a second?
I'll go ahead and
Second,
second
Marshall.
Mrs. Sotelo.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think Linda got in by just a half a hair. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, great.
Aye.
The minutes are approved.
Aye.
Thank you so much. All right, let's move forward then to our library foundation report. Lots and lots of fun things happening. Patrick.
There is lots happening, but we've been really, focused, I think, primarily on advocacy in the last few months, or last few weeks. So I want to echo, if you'll allow me to echo what Wendy said, thank you profusely to Wendy and Joan for really, giving us the opportunity as a coalition to make the full court press, as so to speak, with regards to advocacy this year. There's been a lot of communication around the budget process, around the effect that the budget might have on the library. And we're hearing a lot from community members, and we're hearing a lot from media. And what it says to me is people are very concerned, and people love their library, and people want to help. And so again, thank you. And Joan's done a really great job with organizing and really mobilizing the friends. I really feel as though we have a strong presence going into the council meetings, both tonight, tomorrow, and then communication around the May revise. And so we're just going to continue. We're going to continue being an aggressive, active voice as a coalition, and we'll be monitoring, sort of the outcomes of the budget hearings over the course of the next week or so, and then we'll make adjustments as needed when we get the May revise, and if our message needs to be adjusted, our tactics and whatnot, then we will be able to do so. And just want to in advance thank you all for that. I want to also give you a very brief library master plan community survey update. Misty and I are competitive people. We were told when we started, and I think I've told you all this already, when we started the community survey process, we were told really not to expect 1,800, 2,000, 2,500 at the tops. We ended up with close to 7,300 respondents. And again, this says to me that San Diegans are really concerned about their library. They want to contribute their voice. They're looking forward to our library, not just reopening, the city reopening, but what that looks like and what that means for years to come. We haven't analyzed all of the results yet. Our friends at G4 and Carson Block Technology are focused on that, but Carson did share a little bit of insight. Again, his focus is technology and the way that we intersect with the library on the digital side. Notice that was one of the highest answered group of questions was around technology. Again, the bulk of the respondents answered the survey online, so we know that there may be access that they have, but a considerable, enough for him to point out, a considerable amount of respondents mentioned their lack of comfort with the use of technology, the use of accessing the digital space. And again, I think a lot of times we turn to the library to learn and access those opportunities and those resources. So I have a feeling a good chunk of what we'll be talking about in the next coming months will be about technology and the way that we use technology in the library. And then the match, Joan had mentioned the match, and thank you again. Joan has done a really great job of communicating the value of the match to branch members. I mean, even just, I was telling Charlie earlier today, just very late last week, we got a nice donation from the match, got a nice donation from the Friends of San Carlos and University Heights, and we've received money from Pacific Beach, and as everybody is really stepping up. I think that the community sees a lot of value, especially on the advocacy side, to be able to say that we do meet the match every year, and we understand the value of that contribution and leveraging that contribution with the city's funds. And so I am feeling daily more and more confident that we're going to be able to say, at the end of this year, we have yet again met the match. And so thank you for all of your support and letting people know, and for your support with the master plan. And I think that's about it for us right now.
Great, thank you, Patrick. Again, kudos on the numbers on the response for the master plan. I mean, on one hand, I think you bring up a great point. People really care about our library, and so it's lovely. But I'm just especially happy about that, and I know it just doesn't happen. You know, I know there's been a big outreach effort on behalf of the library and foundation. You know, we call it the Misty and Patrick Roadshow. And thank you to foundation staff and library staff and everyone, you know, just getting the word out, because we're all busy. Think about how many emails are in your inbox every day, and sometimes optional surveys are like, it's not burning at my feet. I don't have to do it. So I think that, again, speaks really highly of how people care about what we're doing. And again, great job on the outreach. Also, with all of the advocacy, I just wanted to make a quick shout out to the foundation staff for really helping to coordinate all of. Charlie, thank you. I just saw the talking points, so we can have coordinated efforts when we are speaking at the budget hearings. That makes it really nice. And so, yeah, we are a must-have, not an option. So we all know that, right? Question from Anne: how much is needed now? And I don't know if you have that exact figure. How much more do we need to make the $1 million match? And I know we're going to make it. You're right. We've met it every year. Do you know?
It's about $160,000 at this point, counting some of the other donations that came in. Raul and I talked a little bit about this. It was about 220 of a week or 2 weeks ago, and money continues to come in directed towards the match. So we're about 160, maybe a little north of that, shy of meeting match.
Great, awesome. Thank you. Great question, Anne. All right, well, let's move forward then to the consent agenda. And now we move to Misty and team.
Unmute myself. So the construction projects, it's the same. Pacific Highlands Ranch, Scripps Miramar parking lot, much needed, are moving along. The one thing I do have to add is that San Carlos, the remediation is complete. They finally have cleared the site. So it will still take about a year or so to go through the process of removing all of the equipment from underground, purchasing the land and all of that. But that is a major step in the right direction for that project. And now we only need, $22 million to build the library. So, but, I've talked to Council Member Campillo for District 7, and that is his number one priority. And he wanted to make sure that we understood that it's not his number one infrastructure priority. It is his absolute number one priority is to get that branch built. And he is willing to help in any way possible to get that going. So it's really good to hear the Friends of San Carlos are ecstatic. And we're, moving to try to make sure that the design that we have is updated. And so that, when we do identified funding, we're ready to go with that project. So that's really good news for us. And then Ocean Beach is moving along as well. We're allotting, I think, another 400,000 this year, kind of moving some dollars around in the CIP budget to finish the design for that this next year so that we can move forward with construction. So, and it's still, we have a commitment for a donation, but it's still going to be shy about $5-6 million that we'll need to identify in upcoming years to do that expansion. Really, this is probably going to be a super short meeting, but I just wanted to still meet with you all just to let you know what's happening with the budget. And our budget hearing is tomorrow at 9. We do go first. The library department goes first. But as you know, it's been, there's been a lot of media attention to it. and there's been a lot of back and forth with the Department of Finance and the mayor's office. And what happened, I believe, there's a couple of things that happened with this. So when we put together our budget reduction proposal was in the January, February timeframe. So that was when the budget was estimated to be really, really bad. Everyone was getting a 12% cut across the board. There was no talk about any stimulus, any additional stimulus money. We did not know that that was going to be happening. And you know what we've cut the last few years, and all we have left are hours and staff. And so we were really ecstatic when they came back with some ads that would lessen the impact of reducing hours. And then when the budget was released, we realized that we were the only one who got any cuts. And so everyone else's budget was made whole with the stimulus money, and we still had our cuts, and we had them in part. It was for a good reason, because they did realize that we needed to make those operational changes. We needed to change the hourly structure and move to a benefited staff. But I knew immediately that it was not going to go over well to have us being the only one that had any cuts. And so went back to, and I talked to Patrick and Charlie about this, about, the advocacy message, and, really trying to hold on to our operational efficiencies, but knowing that we needed to restore hours and budget as quickly as possible, and we could not take that kind of cut. So I've been working with the city executive team, the mayor's office, and Department of Finance on a strategy for how we can move this along. We can still realize what we're trying to do staffing wise, but we can get hours back as quickly as possible. And so they are committed to accelerating those efforts. And we'll be talking about that, but it will come back in the May revise with the plan for restoring library hours as quickly as possible while still realizing those efficiencies and restoring budget. So it's really good news for us. And, I will tell you that every council member, we've briefed every council office on, the strategy behind this and how it came about and what the initial intention was. And every council office said, we get these big stacks of postcards. So I could tell you that the postcards work. So the advocacy is just off the charts. And like Patrick said, for me, it's so nice to have such a community that's so supportive of libraries and really is like, absolutely not, you're not, no, we're not going to accept those cuts. So we do think that, we had put the Tuesday through Saturday up there because we just had to get to a target number of reduction. And knowing that, our staff are all union represented, we have to always be mindful of what their schedules are going to be. And so that's why we had put that up there. Now we've gone back to the drawing board and we've looked at it, and we do, we're going to be able to get 6 days a week with the current staff that we have. It will be reduced hours, but we'll be able to get a 6 day a week service. And then we're going to still slowly start to transition these hourly positions into benefited positions and add Sundays back, communities of concern first, and then the commitment is to get back to pre-COVID hours by the end of the fiscal year. So it's going to be a process, and we knew it was going to be a process anyway. It's going to take us a while to get back to regular service hours regardless of our budget. Right now we have 167 vacancies. So even if, we didn't lose any budget and we got everything back and we tried to get back even just to pre-COVID levels, it's still going to take us a while. Even if we had the current staffing that we have and weren't changing the staffing model. So but we're committed to working as diligently as we can to get those hours back, knowing that it's really, really important for the community. So I'm thrilled that that is happening, and that also we're going to be able to keep all of the additions that they have put in. So we'll get the increase in the materials budget and the programming budget and the training budget, which are absolutely needed. So we're going to come out, good. It's going to be some work on our end to get there, but it's going to be good. So I just wanted to give you an update of kind of what to expect from the budget hearing tomorrow. Is basically you will hear that the mayor's office is committed to accelerating the reopening and is going to restore the budget so that we can, get back to pre-COVID hours before the end of the fiscal year.
Phew.
Yeah.
It has been a roller coaster for
Roller
how
coaster.
many years? How many years, months, and sleepless nights? But
Yeah.
again, just applaud you, Misty and Raul and team on the creativity that it has taken every single year and every time we go through this exercise when
The
it's like,
library will be closing in 5 minutes for cleaning.
what else could you possibly cut? So how do we do things differently to optimize what we have and to get us back to where we're going? And that just takes a lot of strength, resilience, and fortitude, and creativity, and flexibility, and sense of humor, and what other superhero skills you got to pull out to make it work. And so,
sense of humor has been really tested this year.
yeah. Like open tomorrow. You're like, yeah, I wish we could. I know.
And so we are working on the phase 3 right now. We're working on the phase 3 reopening plan. We do need to negotiate with the union, with MEA on that. And so we need to sit down with them and talk about all of the logistical issues. But what our hope is really, one, is expanding services, like allowing people to browse the collection. What additional locations can we open for limited services? A lot of that is going to have to do with just our staffing levels that we have right now. Letting people pay their bills in person again. We're not at a point where we can do any kind of programming, but staff are asking about doing, limited programming outdoors. And so we are exploring that as well. So, we're really trying to get to a good place where we can say, okay, we're expanding services in the June timeframe. And then it's going to be a slow roll for us still. We still have, some branches that are completely closed, and we need to determine what's the best strategy for them. Do we do pickup service in those first, or do we just reopen everybody for limited? So there's a lot that we need to work through with MEA and with the staff, but we're actively working on that because we get every day, please reopen the libraries, and it's brutal for them to still be closed. So
And great thinking on the limited outdoor where you can have it. I mean, perfect time for summer, assuming we don't get this, 110 degree and then it's raining, but it's something. And I think people will be very appreciative that, things are moving in the right direction. The intent is to open. It's just all of this that goes on behind the scenes that the general public, doesn't always get to hear. So it's really complex, but I just love that we're moving in the right direction. It's like they say, losing the baby weight. It takes a year to get pregnant. COVID, we've been in it over a year, so it's going to take us some time to staff back up pre-COVID. And I'm hoping that, the general public will really appreciate all the efforts, on the ground by the staff, the library staff, and the foundation and the friends to get us there. And we're getting there,
Yeah, we are, and it's slowly but surely we are going to get there, and it couldn't happen fast enough for me. I wish we could just say, open up, we're open, but, and I don't know if you've seen, but San Francisco Public Library just this week opened for limited in-person services. So we are ahead of a lot of libraries, but unfortunately, it's like the county's a little ahead of us. Coronado's completely open again. Escondido's completely open. So the ones around us I think is what people see.
Right.
And it's just like you said, they just don't understand all of the logistical things on the back end that go into, we've got to outfit all of these branches with plexiglass and decal and, all of these things. So there's still a lot for us to do. So.
I know it's a lot of extra effort. So thank you for that. Any questions about the budget or the budget hearings or reopening from anyone for Misty? Hey, Misty, anything else before, I know, it's just budget, budget, but anything else before we move to commissioner comment?
No, I think that was it. I just wanted to
Okay.
give you kind of an update on where we were with the budget, but in June, definitely we'll have a good sense that the council needs to approve the budget on June 14th. So we will
Right.
definitely know by the next meeting where exactly we stand, and we'll have a very definite plan for moving forward.
Thank you very much. This will probably be a very short meeting, but let me move forward to commissioner comment. I will entertain any questions or comments. Anyone? I know it's not a shy group. Such great reports. All of the questions must have been answered. And I know, again, there's budget meetings tonight, tomorrow morning at 9. Lots of opportunity if you would like to chime in, call in, email in. It's all counted. Feel free to share your thoughts with our elected officials. And we appreciate our electeds as well. All right, is there any other business? If not, just a friendly reminder, our next meeting is June 2nd via Zoom. And my goodness, I might give you back 30 minutes or so to actually eat lunch. Great work, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome again to Oscar, his second meeting, and welcome to California. And so many, lots and lots of things to celebrate. Raul's new position, just great work all the way around. Okay, well, I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 1:01. Thank you all for your time. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Wendy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.